footstep rhythms bridge me from stairwell echoes into the chorus of campus, your Yetis, filled with caffeine combinations, clink in coordination with keys, jingling to the beat of tired toes and heavy loads comprised of textbooks and papers shuffling like Spotify inside the backpacks of people all marching into another day, another week, another experience in the concrete jungle. On the way to this jungle, I hear a lot of things. I hear squawk of gossip, crack of inside jokes, roar of laughter, references to vines that even Tarzan can't swing on, grassroots efforts with ends towards politicking, debates about what should come first, or last night's record-breaking statistics class, questions about the exams that they barely passed. I brush past tens of people like me on the way to that jungle. Past tens of people all carrying past tense sound bites that bought airtime in their present tenses. You could call that an audible tenseness. One that kept presenting itself in our attempts to pretend that, hey, how are you? Aren't just our first sign of defenses a set of self-defenses erected like a forest of wooden fences that stops any light from getting into the canopy? No one sees that what was said in the past really extends to our present and future tenses. Here in the jungle, our struggles, worries, and hurt get condensed, packed and filed away so we can camp out alone in these tents. But on the inside, I'm scared senseless by the words that have been spoken over me. Predation teaches me to hide under false pretenses, to pitch a tent and a foundation that only drives stakes into my humanity. Meanwhile, the man in me is restless as the voices of his past only intensify in the night. The voices use darkness as their microphone. And the campfire that I built does little more than create spotlight for their show. They catch my attention by repeating the verses that I've already memorized. It's their catchy jingle that sticks and stones and breaks through more than bone, with words that whip like a whirlwind and rattle the prison bars that hold this caged bird until he is forced to sing karaoke to lyrics that remind him of his inadequacy, of his inability, that the confines of gravity are his new reality. But in actuality, there's a voice through all the noise that he wishes he would have heard a lot sooner. Because when I zero into that still small voice, I hear the synchronization of civilization drowned out by the symphony of creation, elegant instances of birds, bees, and crawling things joining to moan, and Pumbaa to sing Hakuna Matata to the Lion King. It's a beautiful scene. As my anxiety shrinks and God's promises ring loud enough to break into my circle of life and broadcast better tunes than the voices that I've been giving Oxford privileges to, the lion's philosophy isn't problem-free. But the grace, hope, and truth in this message is enough to get me through the day. God welcomes you and I to his podcast, and he hopes that in the hustle and bustle, in the finals, that we put on some headphones, AirPods if you guys got it like that, a lot of y'all do, and hit play. Thank you. Growing up, my dad was a photographer. For me, that meant that weekends with Dad consisted of snacking on party favors during red-eye nights at Bloodshot in the sunrises, loading video equipment in the SUV and watching the aftermath of celebrations need sanitation, as custodians subtracted soda cans and beer bottles from messy tables. It meant that I saw long-winded MC speeches give air to characters drunken and characters driven to dance behind tears of joy, tears of remorse as they honored past loved ones. It meant that my family never took a picture once. There was always flash photography. Self-timer, Manny, blink. Can we take it again? Tilt your head. Come a little closer, sir. Ma'am, I'm sorry to bother you, but would you mind taking us a quick picture so that my father could fit into the frame of our Christmas day, vacations, presentations, basketball games, our Pablo Picasso, and now that he has since retired, I've tried my own hand at capturing Mona Lisa's smile. iPhone 8. iPhone 8 has become the apple of my first, second, third eye, is like diffracts through rectangular prism to present the Garden of Eden in O'Keeffe's watercolors. Michelangelo's creation of Adam upon the Sistine Chapel, and Salvador Dali's persistence of memory in megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes of camera roll, catalogs of concert footage, costume parties and celebrity photo ops, thousands of sunsets, selfies, and monuments are captured as documents of the grandeur of these occasions and events. Picture this, picture that. Picture it didn't happen as a viral virus of our time that causes us to snap, like, swipe, post at the expense of cropping ourselves out of a present frame of mind. And I am inclined to spend the rest of this poem telling you that the best photos that you will ever take are the ones with your looking balls, your eyeballs. Because at 24 frames per second, you will never miss a Kodak moment. But nights with my dad have also showed me that a picture is worth 1,000 words. That they are powerful paraphrases of the past that remind us that memories don't always solidify like cement. They become pixelated, fuzzy, blurry. Old age, like erasers, can cause even the sharpest of minds to forget. So the opportunity to flip through scrapbooks and photo albums to get 20/20 retrospection on what eyes have unseen, ears have unheard is priceless, and it can begin to make hearts appreciate the warm feelings we get when we reflect on digital memories. So whether you choose to take in life with just your sensories, or use iPhone, Android, Fujifilm, Kodak, Canon, Nikon lenses, take pictures. Take pictures.
Crazy out here, just, That's all good. Kate's kept me up to speed.
Good. They said they're not gonna let me out of the show, man, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, they locked me in for 2 more years, maybe more.
Damn. What are you gonna do?
I was kind of hoping you'd tell me.
Because you care what I think.
Because I care what everyone thinks, man. You know that.
All right, this next one is called People Please, motivated by a lot of different things. I think I'm a people pleaser. Enough people have told it to me, like, you know what, maybe I might be pleasing the people by accepting that, but I assume I'm a people pleaser. But I think within that, there's like, it's kind of a double entendre, like people pleaser. Like, I think people pleasers need people pleased. And so, motivated by a few things, or not motivated, inspired by a few people. Jesse Doyle, where are you? Somewhere? Maybe not. That's okay. And Harry Baker, awesome, great poet. Also, this is also subliminal messaging to watch the show This Is Us. If you haven't noticed, it's my favorite show of all time. But here it goes. People please. I am a people pleaser. I could use some people, please. Because people are pleased to peek in on a primetime performance as this person placates to the people's pleas, and presently, I am at the peak of production. Pass the popcorn, preview the program, praise the presentation because it's the people's pick. Puffed up pageantry, popular picture, on paper a present perfectly packaged to pay the price of the people's needs, so people please. Postpone your plans because I could use some people free, possibly for some people tea, or to populate for a potluck with no pressure because I can procure all the things. I have purple people peas, or porridge with parsley leaves. I could pick a peck of pickled peppers, get Popeyes, or purchase Uber Eats. We could play Monopoly. Parcheesi, poker, pass the pigskin. I don't have all the deets, but this party could be push and pee. Turn me up. Yet I perceive somewhere along the lines that my party's presentation may be pulling teeth. My pupils see people pandering like Parliament at the prospects of this party pitch until the president of the populace pulls the people and pronounces that people prefer to pass up on this party's potential. How could they? Proposing that they pack their possessions, start the procession, piling into Pontiac Prius SUV and pulling out of spots before they are presented parking fees. The protocol by which people peeled from the performance hall was executed quite passively, but it is a petrifying picture from this perspective to see all the people leave. It shouldn't bother me. But somehow it takes my people piece. When people piece, there's a part of me that parts in two. Two is few, but after further review, parts proliferate like porcelain pot shards pulverized into powder puzzle pieces, and it's pretty easy to feel incomplete when all the pieces don't fit. I am stuck in this proverbial pit. Posted up with petty, pedantic, pig-headed, personified patrons, plainly put, it's a pity party. And I'm the only one paying. I'm pinched like pennies, personality padlocked like penitentiary that puts pressure on my psychology. I am lonely, cut and pasted the puppet strings, pantomiming, practicing for the perfect performance. The Prince of Peace passed by. And I thought that it would be this pretentious, prejudice pit stop just to poop on my pity party. But instead he popped a squat in my pit and helped me process. And I told him, Prince of Peace, I ain't got no people peace. I perform my pieces in the people peace. I said, people please. I said, people please, just because I'm so tired of seeing all the people leave. Will anybody stay for me? And that's when he poured into me. He said, Philip, I will never leave. My presence is for eternity. I am consistency, but I know you need community. I know you do. Because it's not good for man to be alone, but the way that you are going is problematic because your peace is patterned like a pendulum. You are a part-time pedestrian because you keep pushing problems, panic, perfection yourself on this Peloton, panting, puffing, profusely perspiring, playing for personal records that don't need to be prized because you are not putty Play-Doh. You are polished pottery, finished product. Your purpose is prehistoric, plans preserved and protected, and it may sound philosophical or pithy from this pit, but I promise you that this pandemic isn't permanent. This period is passing. Real peas move in silence like pterodactyls, and Pangea is happening because I'm positioning a peculiar people on paper like tectonic plates converging on your pathway. And when they pull up, please don't push them away. They may not like purple people peas or porridge with parsley leaves. They might like normal things like pizza or pasta. Some people like pineapple pizza. Sorry. But they are people predisposed to see past the performances to the poetry that is your person. Call them personable people. Phenomenal people, proper people, pleasant people, because they're not just any people, they're family that you will one day call your people. Thank you. This next one is called, also, it's one of those things, hopefully it doesn't backfire on me, but no, you guys don't have to be silent the whole time. It's like there's people who are like, dang, he said real peas move in silence like pterodactyls, and you want to be like, or like, oh, wait, okay, not that one. Chill. Hey, this is a kid show. But feel free to express yourself within the confines of the situation. Anyway, so this next one is called As Yourself. There's a piece of scripture that says, love the Lord your God with all your mind, with all your soul, with all your mind. And there's a second part of it that says, love your neighbor as yourself. And I think I love people pretty good. I hope y'all give me, I mind some of those monkey brain surveys. But on that frame, I think that sometimes I've realized that I don't love myself all that much, right? And so there's a lot of people here who are great at loving people, but may not love themselves as much. And I think the part of that scripture talks about like, hey, if you were to love yourself completely the way that the Lord sees you, how much more could you love people? Like, you might be on low power mode right now and like, I don't know, turn like yellow to white. Okay, yellow to white. We'll work on the transition later. But anyway, go ahead. Not like there was power to do the yellow to white thing, but anyway. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. The second commandment is of the same kind. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love them like they're your mirror's reflection, driver's license, ill-timed yearbook photo. Love them like the flash photography that reveals red eyes, yellow stains, collard greens in between your teeth. Love them like braces, overbite. Retain them in your heart like the closed two smiles that lock the door on your insecurity. Love them blurry, washed out, pixelated. Love them with no filter. Love them no cap. Love them in all caps. Love them like the t-shirt that you've been wearing for 3 days straight. You need to do laundry. You need to do laundry. But love them like you're going out of style, been out of style, like split ends, busted buttons, ripped jeans, skinny fit with the same energy that you jump into jeans with, like chapped lips, ashiness, crow's feet, dandruff, birthmarks, halitosis, bruises turn battle scars. Love them on the sweatiest of days, where pit stains lead to pit stops in the bathroom and napkins and deodorant can only do so much, like bad grades, times when everyone else knew what and you didn't, how and you couldn't, like public speaking stutters, voice cracks, the skin tone and tune of your voice that keep you from singing. Love them like the selfies you delete. Love them like the hurt that you can't tweet. Cherish them like breakup. Honor them like the things that you can't make up. I can't make up that if I were to reflect this kind of love onto people, that you guys would think that I was evil. You would mistake it for hate because I take one hard look at myself in the mirror, turn around and forget what I see in memory. It's distorted through stained glass, funhouse, vanity, media, and magazines kaleidoscope my self-image into 100 different perceptions of what I can't be. And Lord, that's why I need your help. to know what it means to be the canvas that you printed your signature fingerprints on, the clay that you formed in my mother's womb with architectural designs derived before they said, let there be light in my darkness. Lord, provide me with the light for your creation, because from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet, I am understood. There are no accidents, missing things you forgot to include. May I choose to speak blessings with my Adam's apple into the mirror instead of sowing fig leaves over what you called good. I am good. And after a love for you, God, a love for myself happens to be the best way that I can fully impact, fully change, fully understand, fully love, and fully know my neighborhood. And that's pretty good. Sweet. Yeah. This one is about to be so cool, like dope. We're just gonna put it out there. But listen to this guy. He's pretty cool. I'm gonna stop turning when I talk because then it makes it win. Are you good? The sound, working on sound for it. Okay. This is the part of the show where somebody's supposed to have, like, I should have like prepared like a couple of jokes like pre-hand, like, trying to think. Does anybody have a joke that they're like, that theme song? Bro, I'm trying to work on the theme song. Jared, you got the West Virginia joke? The West Virginia? Anyway. Okay, cool. If it doesn't work, I think in the next, I'm trying to think, what's a good, well, yeah, honestly, my phone's up here. Okay. We're gonna count to 30 seconds, and if it doesn't work, we'll just roll into it. But, everybody's day going okay? Like, maybe we'll show like how our day's going by like how far we raise our hands. Are we like down here? Are we like right here? Are we like high five? Are we like raise the roof? Or is it like I'm grabbing the cookie off the top shelf? Like where are we? Okay. I think we got a lot of sleep. I'm probably right here. Like Princess Diana.
1,000 years ago, and it says, if you think you dare not, you don't. You like to win and think you can't. It's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you'll lose, then you're lost. Out in the world, you'll find that success begins with the person's will. It's all in their state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, then you are. You have to think how to rise before you can ever win a prize. That life battles don't always go to the stronger, faster man. But sooner or later, the ones who win are the ones who think they can.
John Henry worked on railroads, manifesting destiny from sea to shining sea, Allegheny Mountains to Redwood Forest, California. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, this is light work. Sunrise to sunset over time is expected. He worked like a dog. Black Labrador, beast, specimen, strong as an ox, muscles that had popped to them, a gaze that was locked on the next spike in front of him. He didn't have much, but he held lightning in his hands. Hammer ushered thunder as it cracked cross ties in half. It was such a sight to see John Henry do his dance. His one-track mind was Olympic. Heart pumped like pistons, blood raced cross country. The only difference between John Henry and the steam machine was that he could bleed. The American dream cost him his sleep, his sweat, his steam. He was the best, but he was laid to rest. He died because his body bore the stress of generations, trailblazing inflammation, leading with lead poisoning, cargo carried through carpal tunnels. was a coronary. Obituaries, documentaries, tell the story. And they will say that you were meant for this. But John Henry, don't listen to them. You are a man, not a machine. In all your doings, remember that you are a human being. Be great, but also be grounded. Take off, but also take on. Reap your reward, but also get some rest.
Henry, get some rest. John, Henry, get some rest. John, Henry,
Ladies and gentlemen,
get some rest.
Nick and Cam.
John, Henry, get some rest. 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 John,
Y'all gotta clap again, just one more time.
If we hop in the Benz, is that okay? Is it okay if I call you my Prada, baby? I ain't no player, I just got a lot of baby. But let me tell you, I like you a lot, baby. I wanna start at the top and the bottom, baby. Then you want to shoot with the red at the bottom, baby.
I clapped really loud and like my hands hurt after that, but that was awesome. Anyway, this next one is a poem about some famous friends of mine. If I were to meet Obama, I wouldn't sound eloquent, like, it's Obama, come on, like, I'd probably stick my foot in my mouth and say something like, I'm number 44 on the football team, and you're the 44th president. I wouldn't sound intelligent. I would be hesitant. My speech electing the pause for fancier words by which to set this president. I would lack the elegance to tell him that he is a great man for inspiring black youth like me to believe, yes, we can do anything. Yet I would manage not to take advantage of this moment. I would get tongue-tied, mind flustered, spinning like his biggest fan, cool with just asking for a selfie. I picture the possibility of moments like this and frame them on the mantle above the fireplace. Elevate them to a higher space whereto I must climb on soapboxes, higher horses, the stairwell to heaven, to imagine passing time with presidents. Dining with dignitaries, cutting it up with celebrities, being next to nobility, proximate to popularity. Some would call that being famous adjacent. Because when you're there, not only will they tell you congratulations, but you can tell your moms like Post Malone that you made it. Living large, cameos on the big screen, among those on the A-list, but what if I told you that this kind of life, this kind of association only scratched greatness? What if there was a group of people that we might have misjudged, mistook, misinterpreted as average because they don't wear red robes or walk down red carpets, make the most money, or buy things hot off the market? Now, don't get me wrong, Britney Spears still shops at Target, but these people are cut from a different cloth. If they were arrows, their shots would go farther. Their distance couldn't be measured with yardsticks. It would be redundant to write their names with marker in the record books because their names are already written and the stars look up. And you will see that they are a part of an exclusive club called the Constellations. And if it's any consolation, I want to give you this revelation about my friends with special needs. This world knows them by their Down syndrome, autism, learning disabilities, and they even call them cursed, demon-possessed, the least of these, but my God continues to call them royalty. Kings and queens, the microphone to God's heartbeat, and I echo the fact that they will be among the first to receive what no eyes have seen, no ears have heard, nor any human mind perceived. For in heaven they will sing with every nation, tribe, and tongue on bended knee. They will breathe in the promise of no more tears, death, pain, and I wonder what type of bodily transformation their exhalation will bring. But until that day, on this side of heaven, we're only left with an invitation to cherish friends like Robert, who can say the word computer 37 different ways. The last one meant I love you. Or my friend Christian, who sends me messages that brighten up the darkest of days, and it's Serena's smile, Justin's sport fascinations, and Dylan's silly celebrations that make it to where I can't wait to see the crowns on their head that await them on that great day of coronation. This next part, it's also about to be dope, just precursor. Anyway. Oh, sorry, that's your cue, my bad. This next poem is called Running Out of Time.
All my mistakes were forgivable, and the time I spent lost was the sign that all the ink is invisible if you give it enough time.
You won't find the most talent on TV. Among the actors and actresses on Hulu or Disney, with the cast of Friends, at The Office, or your local Parks and Rec, check, because you won't find them on The Voice. With the vocally victorious whose performances could bring the house down, bring toe-tapping sensations to crowded country concerts, star-spangled tears to fans in stadiums, and hit notes that could quiet the fears of a generation. America's Got Talent. but you wouldn't be able to hear its loudest location if you listened to the downbeats of concertos where ballet companies go dancing with the stars, demonstrating delicate dignification that's in sync with world-renowned symphonies. It's a loud sound here at Carnegie Hall, but hear me please over LeBron James's greatness, New England dynasty, U.S. women's soccer domination, because there is more skill in this place than you could ever pour into Super Bowls or Stanley Cups. Mold onto medals, commemorate in trophies, document in newspapers, type with the style of J.K. Rowling, postulate with the genius of Einstein, and relay with the poise of W.E.B. Du Bois, more than the viral videos of YouTube and TikTok, more than Elon Musk. This dude just bought Twitter, like more than Elon Musk and the great lot of students at the Davidson College. Y'all are some of the most talented people I've ever met. I want to submit to you that there is more talent, more potential, more uniqueness wrapped up in the grave than anywhere else. Because even when you don't account for the halls of fame, history, and record books, you will find unsung heroes, American idols who walked through life with idle hands that were too scared to grip the microphone to project their potentials, men and women 6 feet under that buried creativity, ambition, ideas, parts of themselves, because opening themselves up to the possibility of rejection was a mountain that they weren't ready to climb just yet, so they let time fly, time pass. Time stops to chisel a dash in between two dates. We, the living, can still dash. We can still run. Don't let the paralysis of procrastination set these talents in tombstone, covered up at surface level and left to the world unknown. They say that the value of a life is not in the birth date or the death date, but in the dash in between. We, the living, can still dash. We can still run, so let us run and not grow weary. Run to discomfort, run with record breakers, run towards something bigger than yourself. And when you do, don't break at the elbows. 90 and 90, drive your knees and cycle your legs like you are turning a page where you don't look down or around at the competitors, but to the author and finisher of your faith, because you can't take anything. You shouldn't take anything to the grave. Your lactic acid buildup is the precious offering of blood, sweat, and tears, so don't spend your years slowing down for spectators to tell you that what you are doing is weird. Because honestly, living vicariously through people who you see on screens is pretty weird, if you think about it. I got IGTV going up there, and I hope they got the... But there's nothing... Davidson, there's nothing wrong with loving on people with your unique gifts like you have amnesia and every day is Christmas. Loving on people with your unique gifts like you have amnesia and every day is Christmas. Throwing pebbles at glass ceilings until something cracks because someday you believe that there will be a breakthrough, or chasing the American dream and refusing to wake up because you are in the middle of running a 5K on cloud 9. Now that may seem like a strange way to run towards the finish line of your life, but let me tell you, it makes a lot of sense when you realize that you're running out of time.
You look so wonderful in your dress. I love your hair like that. The way it falls on the side of your neck. want you to know it's enough for me. 'Cause all that you are is all that I'll ever need. I'm so in love, so in love, so in love, 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 so in love. You look so beautiful in this light, silhouette over me. The way it brings out the blue in your eyes is the Tenerife Sea. And all of the voices surrounding us here, they just fade out when you take them. Just say the word and I will disappear into the wilderness. Should this be the last thing I see, I want you to know it's enough for me. 'Cause all that you are is all that I'll ever need. I'm so in love, so in love, so in love, 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 so in love. You look so wonderful in your dress. I love your hair like that. In the moment I knew you best.
Plain and tall. If you were just plain, that is because you take plain clothes to new heights, wear them at altitudes that make skyscrapers hide in plain sight. There is a certain air about you that takes my breath away. Thought bubbles pop when they're this high in the atmosphere. Reservation of oxygen keep me from speaking, but plainly put, you are a maze. Amazing labyrinth of storybook memories that unexpected turns reveal the smirk, smile, laughter, chance encounter that make finding the needle in the hay stack worthwhile. I smile plain as day when I think about it in theory and in practice. I get distracted in practice. Warming up to shoot my shot for game day, I wonder if you practice the same way. I wonder if you dribble. How I drool, cross over from daydreams into reality, get tired of traveling with butterflies in your stomach, lay up at night thinking about somebody who can't help but think that you are plain and tall. You stop growing in high school, but the seeds that you sow make your character blossom like Jack's beanstalk. Talk of the town, you are freeze frame. Liquid nitrogen enough to make scenes stop to see love, joy, peace harvested as the crops of your good doing. You just keep improving. So that's why I'm going to take a different approach at pursuing. Instead of running, chasing, spinning my wheels in the mud, it's time that I start seeing this dirt as a soil in which my feet can be firmly planted. I take a look at the ground. And disappointment stems from the fact that you're not around, but it's better that way, because in the quiet, solitude, rough patches, behind the scenes valleys grows the best fruit. And I need to know that I am the apple of my Father's eye, that I am the branch and he the vine, that God doesn't need grapes to make wine. He just needs servants that aren't too preoccupied with their bride, because there are these priceless lessons. There are these priceless lessons about turning lemons into lemonade, making memories sweet enough to make you say, orange, you glad, that the heavens wait, break, rain are pouring out hidden blessings that you don't quite have room to receive, so you have no choice but to store up your treasures in a place with no thieves, and feel the effects of springtime as inches turn to feet and meters turn into a mighty cedar with Roots locked in a foundation that even the storms can't shake. I take in a view of clear skies. Rainbows, sunset, and I can't believe what I see. I see a tree, beautifully plain and amazingly tall, growing right next to me. Thank you. Okay, running. This Apple Watch is sponsored by Bernard Turner. This is not my Apple Watch. This is Bernard Turner's Apple Watch. Yeah. Anyway, we got two more poems. One is called, what you're about to see is called Dancing with Two Left Feet. I don't know if John Billups is still in the room. He has to defend his thesis tomorrow, but John worked endlessly at taking a lot of the videos and pictures that you guys gave me and made something beautiful. So if you guys see him, give him a hug for me. Don't give him a kiss for me, that would be really weird. But after all, anyway. But here's Dancing with Two Left Feet.
But there is not a single day that goes by that I don't think of the child I lost. And I'm an old man now. I like to think that because of the child that I lost, because of the path that he sent me on, that I have saved countless other babies. I like to think that maybe one day you'll be an old man like me, talking a younger man's ear off, explaining to him how you took the sourest lemon that life has to offer and turned it into something resembling lemonade. You can do that, then you will still be taking 3 babies home from this hospital. Maybe not the way you planned.
When life gets crazy and the answers get hazy and the waves start crashing, sirens go flashing and heads scratching to rumors of recession, wars, uncertainty, and long nights in search of brighter projections, there is this inward tension. Thoughts of protection, stocking up for insurrection, and the tendency to put all eyes on the election. There is an attention deflection. Scroll up to see the sum total of 1,000 suggestions, numerous movie selections, and a conversation with Siri about Wi-Fi connection. But in the midst of all these situations that cause our stressing, there is a special, amazing phenomenon that you can only see upon further inspection. Because on Doomsday's dance floor, there
are these people who manage to dance with 2 left feet. Their cha-cha slides aren't the smoothest, but they find a way to make moves. Through insults and injuries, they break dance as bones snap, crackle, pop, and lock until tendons tear and ligaments wear down, and all that is left is a body as gelatinous as pudding, yet they are pudding. Their best foot forward, they don't need emergency surgery or chemotherapy because they are radiating a hope that smashes fear like Hulk smashes bad guys when the dark night rises. They scribble on the walls with photoluminescent ink, and they take steps to walk on water even though they might sink, and you would think that they would see the storm raging, sky falling, and take their chances on the boat, but they offer 5 loaves and 2 fishes to a multitude of questions that are floating in the air like Muhammad Ali's butterflies. It may not seem wise, but they start a concert with out-of-tune instruments. And it's a little pitchy, not gonna lie. But they find a way to make a melody that resurrects dead men's souls like heroes. Heroes don't always wear capes, but some wear masks as they find loopholes for love. Sing, clap, story tell their creative compassion from windows, MacBooks, rooftops, and respond to first responders with seconds, minutes, hours of messages. The message is that this too shall pass. The message is that some things will never be canceled. The world may stand still, but faith, hope, and love move to a bigger, stronger, and more meaningful beat. So get out of your seat and make the choice to dance even if you've only got 2 left feet. I'm going to try to run fast, just out of respect for people's times, but I do want to take the chance to say a big thank you to everybody. It's not lost on me, like, poetry can only be so cool. Like, but all of you guys are here, like, watching poetry on a Thursday night in the middle of, like, final season. Like, thank you, okay? Not okay, thank you. And you know, special thanks to, like, I mean, it could go, the list could go on and on. I want to thank Ryan, Skylar, Andrew in the back who've been helping with stuff. I want to thank DK. I want to thank lots and lots of people, but my mind is, I want to thank, y'all clapped for Tavis and Hannah before, but will y'all clap for them again? And then, if I could get another round of applause, I think they've left the building, but for the brothers of Omega Sci-Fi, Nick and Cam, will you guys give them applause? And then you guys saw artwork that was done by Makayla Binter. Makayla Binter's class of 2020. She couldn't be here tonight because she's an adult with a real job. But like, someone coming back from 2 years to do something for the show, and John pulled an all-nighter just to get like that video done. Like, it's just poetry, guys. And like, for me, like, it's not lost on me all that you guys have done. I could sit here for like 10,000 hours saying thank you. You guys know, for those of y'all who know me, you know that I lack in concision. So I really could. One of the things I want to do is Taylor in the room. Taylor in the room. Okay, she might have left out. But Taylor from the women's soccer team, back in 2020, when I thought my show was going to be on March 19th, 2020, I made that little tiny, this is the board right there, doing one of those like wine and like paint and sip type deals. And anyway, so made that. This one on the bottom, I was hoping, I left a box of markers on the bottom of the easel. For those of you who are here, I would really love if you guys, like, not on the front, But if you flipped it and wrote your name, your initials, nobody go like John Hancock it, but like, if you guys wrote your names on the, anyway, the history majors got that one, but if y'all could do that, I would really appreciate that. If you were in the show, like, don't sign it yet, or if you played a part in some piece of the show, don't sign it yet. I've got like something special for y'all to sign it with. I should have something special to give you, but I'll work on that. This last poem is called Disney Plus, and I just think that for one, it's super, I'm not going to be narcissistic and say it's super cool, but I really love the poem because it just brings me back to being a child. It's got 45 or so like references back to like things we grew up with as a kid. If you're one of those like 2000 and like to 2003 like kids who watched TV and weren't like bookworms, but I don't know. So this poem will soon date itself, but the thing I want to say is if you guys don't get anything from me, like, know that, I don't know, for one, if there's any of these poems you don't like, you're like, oh, I want to know why you said pterodactyl, like, that's so cool. Like, you can ask me. My line is open. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. If you want to reach me, that's okay. But then, I'm just going to shut up. I keep talking, but just know I'm so thankful. I think I'm going to say this poem, and then we're just going to ride off into the sunset. You guys will sign these things, and then y'all will go do homework. But I love you guys. Yeah, that's all I'll say. I got to work on my concision, because by Bernie's iPhone watch, I got to go. Apple Watch. Okay, so this is Disney Plus. There's a little singing part in there. You'll get it if you watch TV. But help me out when that part comes. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Chichioto from Davidson College, and you're watching Disney Channel. You're watching Dylan and Cole Sprouse. You're watching Dylan and Cole Sprouse have a 22-minute takeover that brought the Bull Cup back. Typical tiptoes of mischief underneath the 5 stars of the Tipton, hangouts in a hotel that brought London to Boston, where the single mom, Candy Girl, and Esteban, Julio Ricardo Montoya de Rosa Ramirez, had a voice that gave Mr. Mosby migraines, and in between bites of your Captain Crunch, you would think that Zach and Cody had the sweetest life. You're watching Hannah Montana try to live out the best of both worlds. Nobody's perfect, you live and you work it, but blonde to brunette wig changes made Miley's 1 in a million dreams believe in the impossible. Ask who said I can't be president? I said that you haven't seen That's So Raven visions of Corey in the house. The Baxters before Barack made a proud family watch. Makeshift families make do with Drake, Josh, and Megan. Blended family, good people like the Even Stevens who had fairly odd parents but never settled for the replacements. The clock struck 8, so we ate quick. We fed a pup named Scooby-Doo and got to school where my gym partner was a monkey, and we took chemistry in Dexter's laboratory. It was a class of 3,000. And Ned's declassified school survival guide was the only thing that got us through to the final bell and into after-school adventure time, where we would grab our friends and go to very distant lands, riding on razor scooters with swollen ankles, listening to Looney Tunes on iPod every day. I'm shuffling. Hanging out with the codename kids next door. I am number 44. Throwing the pigskin in the street like Peyton Manning, dreams of playing under brighter lights than the street lamps that signaled house calls from mama to come get dinners made of sugar and spice and everything nice. I didn't think twice to eat my vegetables and excuse myself to get on Game Boy, Club Penguin, PlayStation, because back then we had time to think outside the Xbox, color with Crayola and disregard the lines, made artwork with squiggles and scribbles because they always made it to the refrigerator.
because we were mama's little Einsteins going on trips in our favorite rocket ships, zooming through the skies. Little Einsteins, solving mysteries, never afraid to ask questions because we were the meddling kids. Snot-nosed, knuckleheads, wingnuts, knucklehead McSpazatrons, goobers. Knucklehead McSpazatrons, I know that for some here, that childhood is a tough subject to touch upon because it's filled with pages upon pages of grim adventures, words that would chip, still chip like playground scars, vocabulary like divorce and recession that made us hang on to monkey bars, yelling, "Swiper, no swiping, swiper, no swiping, swiper." But the swiper found a way to take our love, joy, peace, lunch money, in a sense, wondering where time has gone. 104 days of summer vacation, and the perpetual problem of our aging generation is that rugrats turn in silly bands and cargo shorts for a suit and jacket, Hot Wheels and Heelys for rush hour traffic, and it's tragic. Because somewhere along the lines we started hating Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays in our jobs, and we live these lives that are mundane, and all that we can say is we're all grown up. But that doesn't mean that we have to give up on a childlike faith, because you have a heavenly Father who has more thoughts about you than there are grains of sand, and he just wants to hold your hand and teach you how to walk again, take baby steps. That's 3 steps forward and sometimes 1 step back. You might feel like you are wandering in the wilderness, but know that this dance is restoring your future back to when mom's hug solved everything. And dad was like a superhero from the movies when one-night stands couldn't beat the lemonade stand, because back then girls still had cooties. Before we became Pretty Little Liars, taking adult swims to our total drama islands, before we ever cared about likes, posts, or swipes, there was a time you couldn't call me, beat me if you wanted to reach me, because I didn't have a phone. But I did have a remote. And I would sit on the sofa, make cereal in a bowl. I would turn on the TV and watch Disney plus a little more. Guys, I love you. Thank you so much for tonight. Don't forget, if you guys would like to sign the back of this poster, it will, if my future wife someday doesn't think it's tacky, it will hang in my room for the next 20 years of my life, or 40 if I live longer.
You sign it? Grace, I know your name.